Hello folks, I am Ed Overstreet and welcome to the Night Sky Imaging channel, and it's daytime and I am checking out the sun. There is a possibility, just one second, I gotta clean some things up here. Oops. And well, I will anyway. Let's see, I need that. I'm having problems with my sound, so I changed iMacs. I'm using a new iMac, and I'm reluctant really to take this on a streaming trip. I did this one time before, and it was sort of a disaster. So uh, we're going to find out, but I need to start using this. This is new, and the other one is old. So the other one is just, I'm so familiar with all of its nuances and controls and so forth, and there are some unique differences with the newer Macs. So at any rate, uh, we are on our star, and I'm going to I'm using the 174 right now. That's the Solar Scout, and I am going to go around the sun. Maybe I can keep from smacking my lips and coughing. Let me drop this down a little bit, exposure wise, and let's fiddle with this histogram. The scene, it's nice out. We got great skies, but we're not having really good scenes. So I've got a so-so solar image. Wrong way. It's going to take me a while to figure out north, south, east, west. I just went out and rotated this, by the way. Needs to be focused. But I want to take a trip around here. And see what's going on. Let's stretch this again. And let's drop exposure down. And let's, I remember this back, you can't see the mouse real good to grab. It's an aggravation. And I was able to, there we go. I was able to change the mouse, but it still, with SharpCap, it just doesn't. That's a little better. Okay, let's continue a trip around here. I think I rotated it the wrong way. Let's go over here. The backlash on this Celestron is crazy bad. No, I did rotate it the right way. Yeah, good. It's in the right place. If you look at these two sunspots and this filament, that's my guide, and then there's this smaller sunspot up here. Then what I'll do is I'll bring up Google, and let's find solar. This is the NSO site, and this was 4 minutes ago. Okay. So here are those two sunspots, and here's that filament between them in on the west side of the sun, the southwest side of the sun. So I do have a flare there. So this is a possibility if I do a time lapse of this section here. If I do a time lapse with the 174, then I've got a flare over here and some nice filaments in this area, and I've got some flaring on the limb up here, but I don't have. I'm not looking at a lot of activity on the surface that would be giving me a lot of features to time lapse. This is a possibility because I can get this part right here. I could change cameras too and get a larger part of that, but I'm not. So if I do a time lapse, I'm either going to do the whole disc with the scout or I'm going to do this part right over here. So let's go back out to our possibility, which is right here, and then let's run the exposure up since it's hard to grab those. And there isn't a lot of flaring. Let's bring the gain up some and the exposure down some. And nothing down there. I see where my flats left dust. I just took some flats before I went live. Let's just go on around the rim. There isn't a lot of flaring going on that's worthy of a time lapse. I like to get surface action, and well, this is the one that let's see what we can do here. Let's go back. Ooh, let's go back here. All right, so if we use this as our frame to get this, and let's bring our gain back to 0 and drop our exposure down some. Okay, let's see if we can see what's. I want to go down this way. No, I want to go up. I pay no attention to the clipping that's going on the right side of this. This doesn't matter because my histogram is showing there is no clipping. This is due to how I've adjusted this histogram. And so I have clipped only in the visual sense by moving this one boundary way past my brights. So this is the bright side of the histogram over here, and if I took this, I can grab it and I drug it on the other side of that, then there would be no clipping. But it darkens over here, and if I took this one, I can grab it. I'm just not having a lot of success in locating them. Yeah, and bring that up. Then I lose some of my contrast. Probably leave it at there, but I think I have a flare down in here and a flare here. But I'm going to go back up and I'm going to try sugar booger. I'm gonna have to make a sacrifice with this focal length. Either I know one thing for sure I'm going to do. I'm going to go over this way and get rid of that. If I do a time lapse here, then I cannot have any drift, because if there's any cropping at all, I could lose this flare. And so what am I giving up on the surface of the sun by doing this? Let's go back down. Okay, well, I've got this activity here and this. So what I think I'm going to do is make this this part right here the main object, and I'm going to go ahead and come up some more, probably there, and there. So that will be my framing. So what I want to do is bring this back down to 30, 28, and grab my reticle, and I'm going to put it here. So when I come back to this, that's where I'll go. So if I do a time lapse, this is what I'm going to do, and I'll hopefully pull out some flare, filament movement, swirling on the surface, and maybe some activity on that flare, which isn't that notable, but that's what I got. So let's switch cameras. Let's go to the 1600. It's on the Solar Scout. These are both ASI cameras. I know this needs focusing. Dang on. But I have to go outside to do this, and I may just, if I'm not going to use this, I'm going to use the other Quark. Let's drop the actually its focus is all right. So here's that filament and these two spots. This camera is oriented pretty close to spot on, and so got a couple decisions to make. Let's trying to grab that dirndo. These vertical bars, dotted lines, I'm holding this mouse right over it. I can't see it. And I've made the mouse, you got to go to the go to preferences and accessibility to change the mouse. Let's see what, let's go back to Apple system preferences, accessibility. What was the, and I think pointer control, no, mouse options, no, I know it's here. It under the display, is it? Pointer, yeah. Let's fill it with, come on, bring up my colors. It's black and I don't want black. Well, maybe I do. I could make a bigger pointer. I was changing the color. Now I don't know what I've done to keep that from happening. At any rate, enable color filters. Let's go back and see if that helps. Nope. Well, enough time on that. So here's the other option. Taking a time lapse of this. That's that may be what I'll do, because if there is any flaring anywhere around the sun, I can bring it out. It's just it's at a distance that I am curious. I've got this on all black and white. Let me go back to accessibility. I've changed this whole thing. What have I done? Display, color filters. No, we don't want grayscale. We want, what the heck? We want red, green filter. And so I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have this with the, well, I have it, I guess. I don't know what I have with the other one. Oh, here's my color filter. Okay, let's fill this up with red. Okay, now let's see if that, then let's take this and make, let's just see what that does. Pink, a pink pointer. All right, let's try that. Ta-da. Let's close this out. Ah, there's my pointer. Now how does it work over here? It goes away. That's the problem. SharpCap, you've got to, when I run SharpCap, it takes my mouse and I don't know. Anyway, so if I decide to time lapse over here, then I'll use this as my crosshair reference for guiding. By the way, I did use the Polar app to polar align my scope, and I've got it pretty much daytime polar alignment. I got it pretty close. I've got a little drift, but this camera has so much backlash in both DEC and RA. It's not going to ever. It takes, when it decides to make a correction, it won't correct until the backlash is, slack is taken in, and then it makes a correction, and it's too late, so you get the drift. All right, let's switch back, and we've got to make a decision here on even if we're going to do a time lapse, and if we are, what are we going to do? These are those two filaments that show nothing. So let's go back over to the other side where now that's pretty cool. Wish something was going on the limb of the sun right there. Let's double check and make sure there isn't. Let's go up here to gain. Let's go up to about 100, and let's raise this up a little bit. Well, I've changed my mind already. Oh, there's some flaring going down below that now. I think this is where I'm going to be. I can go down a little, so let's do that. A little more, and then what do I have down here? think this is where the time lapse is going to, I think this is what I'm going to do here. And then I would make, let's make this one my reference. This is awful large. Let's go back to this one. Got a little breeze outside too, which is not helping. That and the scene conditions, and the sun is bouncing around a good bit. So, do we want to have more sky? It's another option. So let's go the other way, little ways. Okay, stop there. Yeah, I think this is kind of this will be the spot. All right, let's see if there is a possible way for me to, I need SharpCap to figure out how to help me with this slider problem I'm having on these histograms. I'm tempted to download an older version of so there's going to be some clipping. I'm dragging that far right over, but I want to get some contrast so I can, if I don't have any contrast, even though there's the part of the image looks ugly, it's hard for me to focus. Daggone this mouse. There we go. Okay. Let's take the gain down to zip. And bring the exposure back up. I've gotten to where 30 frames a second is fine. I don't care. I'm not shooting for 90 and 100 and 110 frames per second anymore. All right, let's try bringing, let's bring this down just a little bit. If I can. Well, let's see if we can focus on this without. I'm moving the moonlight focuser in, and I'm going to move it in to where it's out of focus. Clearly out of focus, which it is. And then I'm going to start moving it out to where it's out of focus, like it's out of focus now, to about where it's out of focus like this. And I'm going to count the steps. So I'm going to move it out 10 steps at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's about right. 9, 10, 11, 12. We're going to out of focus again. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'd say that's about where we were before. So let's go back 10, and that'll be right in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's either 11, 10, or 9. That's a 30-step swing. I think I'm just going to leave it right there. And I'm going to need to change my speed to 1 times sidereal. And let's all right. our sidereal. And do I really want to do this? Let's see. I don't know. I know I definitely want to take this clipping down, and I gotta, there we go. And let me look at my histogram and see where I'm at. I'm at 83, and that's too hot for my likings. I'm gonna go down to 80, probably, okay, right there. So that's where we're going to be. All right. Now let's bring this up to say about 150%. And let's go up here and set this. I'll go ahead and use this sunspot as my reference. We'll zoom in and just keep it there. And let's see, east moves it back and make sure I got my, no, west moves it. All right, we got that. North moves it up and south moves the crosshairs down. Okay. Sure doesn't look focused, but so we're at 79. Let's set up a time lapse. Dang it, I'm just not happy with this. The scene is so bad. And it's going to be a waste of time lapse, so I'm not going to do it. There's my pink cursor until I go over here, and then it turns it. Why does this bar over here turn my cursor crazy? I don't know. Let's go back out and look at the sun through the eyes of the 1600 and the Solar Scout. And, oh, wrong way. I just decided not to do a time lapse. I'll just take some pictures. Oh, we're in sidereal. We'll never get there. Let's go 8 times. Let's get rid of the reticle. The Scout and the Scout is not synced with the Quark Chromosphere. Okay. Okay, let me bring up comments, just in case. It's getting hard. Oh, I picked the wrong color scheme. Well, I can see now what it is. I haven't looked at me, so let's go back to accessibility. And let's go to display, color filters. Let me have default, please. Reset, color filters. There's got to be a reset. All right, so we don't want this. Do we want this? A little better. Do we want that? That's still not right. Oh, enable color filters. There we go. Bingo. That's what I needed to do. All right. Live and learn. Okay. And I forgot to bring up the comments. Let me do that again. Hey Ray. Welcome. We're just going to sit here and look at the sun. I was thinking about imaging. I'm going to knock off some images while I'm at it, but I'm not going to do a time lapse. And I'll take some images of the Scout using the Scout, which is what I have fired up here. And then we'll take some images with the Quark Chromosphere. Ooh, that's loud. So, hang on, folks. Let me find. It's getting used to this new whatever I got here. Let's see, sound levels. All right, let's see what goes on here. I got to move my sound library over to this. Okay. Let's go ahead and take. I want to make sure I'm on my external hard drive first. File names, nope. Always check if you have a hard drive to make sure you're on the right drive. So we want to add a new folder. 9/29/23. That is the date, isn't it? And always apply. I've forgotten to do that, and so let's change this to Scout. And drop the sound down some more. I know what's wrong. Let's go up to sound preferences. Guys, we're going to be figuring this thing out while we do sun. And I'm on, let's go over to, let's just keep the ECAM live. That's what I use. Output volume, it's all the way up. There we go. Now I have some control. Alright. Out of that, back over to the sun. And let's take 500 frames. What's going on in your neck of the woods, Ray? That didn't last long. Take another 500. Let's center this. And so, let's see, we need to go east a little and south a little. Up, other way. West a tad. Up. That's pretty close. Okay, let's change reticles. Put it right there. And that'll be my reference when I come back. Let's take another 500. And then let's bring up auto staggered. And let's open up and we'll take the first one. And let's put the control box here by using the control click. And you can scrub through to see if you have some high contrast images. That looks okay. We're going to analyze. And while we're analyzing, we're going to go back and take a, let's see, we need to move west, center it, and let's take another 500. Taking a series of them, every now and then the scene just improves enough that there is a difference. So I try to click off a couple of dozen over a period of time, even though I'm not shooting for a time lapse, hoping that there will be a phase of excellent scene and I'll luck into it. And we'll try another one. Where does that come from? Smooth this up. Wrong way again. Let's see how our histogram is. Looks fine. I like it. shoot for 200 and place a grid. And when it's finished placing those, this is a very old and slow laptop. But there isn't much money tied into it, and it stays out. The laptops are out more than they're in. So let's stack that, saving 50%, and let's go back to our sun. Stick another. I got some drift. Let's see how close AutoStacker is. It's stacking them now. Told you it was slow. It eventually gets it done, and it's really crazy slow if I do like 2,000 frames. I can grow a beard waiting on it to finish. I took some paint. If you weren't on the other videos, a couple videos ago, I was imaging at night, and I have 3 kits up outside, and 2 of them are for deep space. Well, one's doing planetary right now, and then the other's a wide field for deep space, galaxies and nebula and stuff. And anyway, and then the third is the solar setup, and it's not peer mounted. This is on a tripod, and it was dark, and there's not a lot of room between the piers. Well, there's a lot of room between the piers, but not the pier and the tripod. The platform's probably 12, 15 feet by 6 feet, 15 feet by maybe 7 or 8 feet. And so anyway, I bent over to pick something up, and I started falling, and I grabbed the solar scope, which was covered up at night. I had the telegizmo on it, but I caught the leg through the telegizmo, and my weight collapsed the tripod leg. So now I've got 2 legs that are the same length, and one that's collapsed, and the thing was about to fall down the hill, and I'm up on a hill. And I hear him at night with my little red light on my head, about to fall down the hill with his telescope rolling over me. And at age 79, I don't need that, because I would have landed on concrete first before I hit the dirt. But at any rate, I managed to survive. But long story, to get to the point, the telescope got knocked way out of alignment. So I set it back up again, used my compass and to angle meter to get the right angle to 34.5167 degrees latitude. I've done it so many times, I've memorized, I know them. And minus 82.1976 is the latitude. At any rate, I had it, longitude, at any rate, I had it close. And the drift was impossible, so I used a drift method to get it polar aligned. I got it closer, but I was still unable to really get it where I knew I could get it. And I stumbled on this polar app that allows you to mount it to your, I took the Scout off and I mounted it in the saddle, the Los Mandes saddle, my iPhone, and it tells you which way to move your mount in the daytime, just like the Polemaster does at night. And yes, I have the Polemaster fittings for the scope, and I could just as easily put the Polemaster on at night and got it really close. But I ended up using that Polar app. It worked. So I'm happy with it. I think it's better than it was before I tripped over, knocked down, and nearly destroyed this whole setup. But they're in an airplane. How many times have I bumped a mount in my life? I love my piers, folks. I've got 2 piers. Each one weighs about 180 pounds that are in 4 cubic feet of concrete each. That is it does sound like it. That is a lot of concrete. I did not pour it. I had somebody do it and put in my patio up on the hill, so that I have, our homeowners won't let us have, HOA won't let us have observatory building. As it turned out, I'm happy about that. I'm very happy about that, because I would not have had an observatory big enough to put up 3 kits. And so I would have probably had one telescope running, and I had to, change it for solar, change it for wide field, change it for planetary. I used different refractors, and so for wide field. So this really gave me permanent setups when I found the telegizmos, and they protect your gear year-round, and my gear stays up year-round with the exception of a couple months in the summer. So anyway, let's take a couple more, and then let's go over to the other setup and take some pictures, and then we'll come back to this and just it's close enough. Hey, James. There ain't a whole lot happening. We do have some clear skies, but the scene's not so good, and the sun isn't as active as it's been. Considering what you see in a solar minimum, it's very active, but we've been the last week, according to Tamitha Skov, who is a weather meteorologist. She's a space weather meteorologist. We've had some major flares that have affected the geomagnetic field and solar radiation, and also radio communications. Take another. James, I'm using the Solar Scout right now, and I have two telescopes that are piggybacking. The Solar Scout's riding on top, and underneath is the Astrotech 65 EDQ refractor. It's 425 millimeters, and I have a Quark Chromosphere on it, and the Quark has a built-in Barlow that's 4.2x, so it multiplies the 625 millimeters times 4.2, and it needs to do that to tame the brightness of the sun. It needs to stop it down, so the F ratio is probably 25. F25, if I could figure it out, 4 times 6, 24, 25. 4 point. It's about a 6. This is about an F6 telescope. I don't remember. But that's how they get by, with stopping down the light, so that, and then the HA filter in the Quark does the rest. It's recentering a little bit. I'm recentering this spot in this reticle. I've taken probably 10, and if I changed my mind and did a time lapse, I could always use these, but I don't think I am. But that's the only reason why I'm taking the time to recenter. Let's knock off another 500. Oh, let's go back out to auto stacker. It should be done, and it is. So let's bring up IMPPG, and I make no promises. And let's open up that image that's been processed by AutoStacker. And there she is. And let's get it to fit the screen, and let's process the whole thing in one fell swoop. Click on that. That box will go away, and it's figuring it up. It's this is how slow this thing is. It's running deconvolution. All right, so let's grab this curve, tone curve first, and let's drag it down a little bit and drag it up some. And let's bring up deconvolution to about 4,000 or 4.1 or 4 point period. Here it's too much. Let's go back down. A little bit too much for my taste. And let's let it apply. And it's trying. Okay. Alright, we're too bright up here, so let's bring it down some. And let's add some. I can get by with adding some sharpening with the Scout. I can't get by with doing that. Okay. These little S curves go a long way. That's what it looks like on the you can't see that though. That's what it looks like though on the Alright, let's go back to planetary and looks pretty close to what the Gong NSO site has. And then I would take it over into Photoshop and I would use curves to drag the red up. Well, you have to, it's in a grayscale, you have to convert it to RGB, but grab the curves and bring the red up and the blue and the green down to give it that orange look. So that's what we got. And here's a live view of I don't know why I keep getting alright, let's switch outside to the 174 and that just does not look sharp. Focus is diariculous. Let's get let me get my histogram right. Need to bring it up some. Let me get more of the sun in here. I've got so much of the sky that I'm not getting a good histogram read. Now I am. Alright, now let's bring this down and bring it over to about there. Okay. Let's change the capture area to, let's go down to 800 by 600. Yep, I know my flats won't work. And let's bring our let's go ahead and shoot some flats for this. What do you say? Because I got to get rid of this, and anything else that's in it. So let's go down to our focus, and let's go in about 1,000 so we can see our dust. Let's drag our histogram down a little bit to where it starts at about 50%. I want it to start at about 50%. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to put on an auto stretch so you can see the dirt. And so let's go up to capture flat. And before I do that, I'm going to change this to flat. Quark. And that's, forgot what it was, 800 by 600. So I can use it again. And so let's go back up to flat, capture flat. Let's do 300, and so let's take them. Won't take long. We've captured the flats, and it's going to buffer them, and then it's going to take bias. It's averaging the flat frames first, and then it should take some bias, buffer them, and then calibrate the flat and against the bias. It's already done it. Okay, so we have flatted out our image pretty good. So we can come back and focus. And there we are. We aren't focused. Let's move this over to a spot. And let's bring up our actually it's not going to let me do it over there. I need a feature. Here we go. Let's go up here. See, it's flattening out the vignetting in this stretch, and that's why it's doing its job. And this is a good time to, if you can, let me reset this again. This is a good time to focus. And it looks like it's probably just going to be as good as it's going to get. And so this is what we're going to be imaging right here. So let's put our reticule right there. And let's change this to 1x sidereal. And our histogram, perfect. So let's make sure we know what we're doing. So we need to go west. Oh, east. To center it. Got to get my bearings here. Okay, we're going to change this now from flat to, this is going to be the Quark, and 800 by 600 capture area. So we're drifting again. And so let's knock off 1,000 of these. Okay, I'm going to stop this capture. I have not figured out north and south and east and west. Although I tell you what, I think I am going to just leave it there because I like this framed better. Let's move it up a little. I may have to go more than sidereal. Backlash is just so bad. Alright, now let's see, we want to go east. I think let's drop this down a little bit and then we'll shoot for about right there. Not that far. Ooh, maybe, no, not that far. All right, this is our new. Good night, Edward. No, can't keep it. All right, so if it's to the right of the spot, I want to go west. If it's to east, all right, so there, so if it's to the right of the spot, I want to go west. All right, I haven't got north and south solved yet. All right, let's take a quick capture of 2,000 or 1,000. I did it again. Stop this one. All right. And this would be east. Dad, God, it's hard for me to keep this. I'm so turned around now. Only when you're streaming, although I do this all the time. Streaming or not. Okay, now I got to go west. And then down. When it's up, it's got to go down. All right. I think I got it. So now we're going to take 2,000 and we're going to let it rip regardless. Auto stacker to align them. I just want to avoid as much cropping as possible because I want to get this. There's nothing's being clipped, although it looks like it, but my histogram is perfect. It's right where I want it. Hey, what time of day is it? It's 11:30. When it gets to be close to the meridian, around 1, there's no drift. That's the best time to image because deck is deck. You know, you're right on it. So whatever drift you have is in right ascension. Guiding's always its best when you're right at the meridian or right after the meridian. So we completed it, so let's bring up Auto Stackert and let's open this one up. And we're in the Quark, and this will be the last one we did. And here it is. Not a lot of cropping, a little bit. And so let's bring, boy, this does not look very sharp, does it? Let's scrub through this and see if there's anything. I'll use my arrow key. The whole thing's bad. I'll stop there and analyze it. It's going to go fast because this is a very small stack. It's going to go faster. Nothing's going to be fast, and so we want to go down to about 24 now. Reference points. No, we don't. Let's clear that out. Let's go to 48. Yep. And we cross over it. Let's go to about, let's save about 15%. And let's stack those. Stacking takes the longest. I'm not expecting too much. It's fun doing it though, and that's why I do it. I learn something almost every time. I'm not saving this. Let's open up the Quark 15% and this horrible thing. So let's make sure it fits, and let's process it all in one fell swoop. Let's reset this. Let's reset this. And let's reset this. So what I'm going to do is take this down a bunch. There we go. All right. Gotta get my other tools out of here. We can't go up very far here. We're going to maybe go up to 24, 2.4. Anytime you see me doing deconvolution and I say go up to 23 or 24, I mean 2 point. That's about as far as I'm going to be able to do this. Maybe 2.4 is my sweet spot for the Quark. And then let's take sigma up. And this is when you get carried away and I overdo it. It's overdone. So I'm going to reset that. And it's sharper than it looks, but part of that is the amazing software called IMPPG and AutoStacker. Amazing, because it makes a silk purse out of a sow's ear, and that's what I'm getting. This is garbage. It does look sharper. Let's reset this auto stretch, and we've got drift again. So let's go. Let's see. And let's hope for some good seeing here. Let's knock off another 1,000. Then I'm going to go over to where that flare is, and I'm going to try to get that flare if I can. Get the flare and see if there's something on this surface. Probably have to take new flats because I'm going to change the region. All right, let's, I think I'll have to change it. Let's go over. Let's see where we are. Let's reset this histogram. We got to go over. All right, let's stop there. Let's go down some. Let's come back this way. Oh, wrong way. Come on. Okay, now let's drag our exposure way up until we find this flare. There we go. That's it. That's it. Right there. Let's see if there's another one. I think there's another one down here. Nope. Yes, there's one there. All right, let's go. Which one do I want? Come on, North. Let's get to moving. There we go. And stop that. And let's look at the surface. Is there any, oh, look here. So we do have something. So let's restretch that. And let's use this as our anchor point. No, nothing looks in focused. It just doesn't. So let's set this right here. It's a little better. And how's our histogram? Let's bring it up a little bit. It's really going to look like it's clipped, but it isn't. I want to go to about there. So it's not clipped. Keep that in mind. So let's knock off. Let's maybe put an anchor point in there so I can control this. And let's knock off another 1,000. And we'll see if we can process this and get the flare. Oh, what's up? What is up? I think I need to go north. I did. Oh, dang it. Dang it. It went right. Oh, shoot. I don't hear myself saying dirty words. Bear with me, guys. So I'm going to stop this capture and do it again. And I think I don't care what it does. I think I'm just going to leave it alone until I get 1,000 frames. If it drifts, it drifts. We'll just have a crop. It's just too hard to manually guide. I may be forced to put the pole master on tonight. I will be imaging tonight. I have a football game I have to photograph. I do sports photography and I have a football game tonight. And then sure is drifting. I may have to settle on 500 frames. I don't know that I can get. It's coming back. All right, let's see what this looks like. So let's bring up Auto Stacker, and we're going to go to this one, and we're going to put the box there. Let's see if we can find a. Let's use that as a reference. Sure looks bad, doesn't it? Look at the crop on this one. That's the amount of drift I had. But I still have what I need. But that's how good the alignment process is. It's going to crop it for me, which it has to do in order to align it. Had I done a better job of keeping it centered, had the mount helped me keep it centered, I wouldn't have any crop, which is okay in this. All right, we want to place a grid. We'll stay with our, I always want to do multi-scale so that it will go beyond the sun itself. Otherwise, if you don't click multi-scale, it's just going to put bounding blocks, reference boxes on the sample boxes on the sun itself. And I've got a flare out here, so I want it to go out into the sky, into space. So let's this says we have a lot. This says we have, goodness, this says we have Wow. We're going to keep about 30%. This is 75% of our images are in the top 50%, and but only right here 15% are in the top 25%. So most of my images are right here. I don't have any real good ones. Right here is where I have, let's see, it's about, that's 25%. So let's stay with 15%. But it ought to be pretty decent. It ought to be better than the other one, although it doesn't look it, does it? It just looks nasty bad. This is the long part. Rest of it's quick. Okay, let's bring up IMPPG and let's reset everything. I don't want these settings. Never use prevent. Well, it never has worked for me. So let's open up our image. There should be. It doesn't look good. Let's put fit and well, if this is better than that other one, it's going to have to really come through here. All right, let's make sure this is checked. I need a different histogram. It isn't a better image, by the way. It's far from it. The other one turned out a whole lot better. So there goes the quality graph. Let's bring this up to about 2.4. Maybe a little more. And bring this up to a little bit. And you can see some of the surface on the limb, some of the whatever, but it isn't a very good image. So we aren't going to take any more of those. Let's continue our adventure around. Let's go back to our format area and head back up to the native. I know, but I do have the right flats, so let's go get our flats. They're in desktop, sharp cap, and then we want to go, wait a minute, they're in, that's my, wrong, I don't want program files, I want desktop. Sharp captures, okay, took some, that was yesterday, no, that's today. Took some flats, and there's my master flat. So what did it just tell me? I'm at the native resolution. Am I not? Yeah. So why did that just tell me? I know those flats work. I think they've applied them. reset. No, they didn't. Dadgone it. Alright, let's find out why. Let's get rid of this. Oh, it didn't apply the fret. I want to apply that flat. It does. Huh. Sharpcap, you're messing with me here. This is 19. Does not match the selected. Oh, 920 1200. So is that what I was? I was there. Okay. Do I have the flat? Nope. Let's apply it though. Yep. Got it now. Okay. I guess I wasn't at the native native capture area. I sure intended to be. Alright, we are too hot. So let's grab it. I just learned something. I think I learned how to grab these. Let's go up to 8 times Siberia. Let's see if anything went. If there's anything happening on the rim here. There had been earlier. Nope. And let's try this. Let's go back out to Google and let's refresh this. And this is 4 minutes old. This is 57 seconds. Let's see a video. Let's see what they got. This filament right here is acted up in the last. But there was some flaring here. Nah. Overall, it's probably better just to image the full disk of the sun. And so I'm going to go back outside and I'm going to bring my sun back. Actually, I'm getting it's the view of the disk, the full disk of the sun. I say the view, the scene conditions are just not, really just not that good. It's it's a shame. It's one of my first really good clear sky days. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign off for now. After transit, get some lunch at 1:30. I'm looking at the clock. At 1:30, I'm going to fire everything back up again and see if scene's improved. If it has, I don't think I'll have time for a time lapse. I need to leave for the sporting event at about 5 o'clock. So, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, folks, I will catch you later, and I probably won't be live again, if all, until tonight. But we do have the promise of clear skies, and when I get back tonight later, it'll be more like 10 o'clock before I get home from the game, maybe 11 o'clock. Then I'll fire up. As soon as I get my pictures, I'm gone. So if I get my pictures, I'm out of there, and I'll be firing up the scopes, and I may go live tonight. So if you're doing nothing, bored stiffless, and the game's on TV, and and there's nothing to watch, check me out.